Yeah, I think obviously who Giannis is, being one of the best players in the world in transition, if not the best. We know we got to show him extra bodies, so it's important that we're getting back, showing him as many bodies as we can, and trying to force him to do something different. He's a load in transition getting down, so trying to show bodies as much as we can.
Then we're getting back, and you were still having success. What leads to success against good transition defense?
Playing faster, just playing faster, being who we are. I think that we're the hardest team to guard in the NBA when it comes to in transition offense. So, but that comes from getting stops. When we get stops, it's easier to get easier shots in transition. That kind of opens up everything for everybody. I thought Drew did a great job getting us started in transition, getting downhill, and then we kind of all just fed off that.
I asked Coach Carlisle, what's the one-word message he sent to you guys about Game 2? He simply said, hard. It's going to be hard. Do you sense that going into this game tomorrow?
Yeah, for sure. Understanding of, what this game is. And, Game 1, last year we got smacked pretty bad. And then we responded well in Game 2. So, we expect them to throw a big punch in Game 2. We got to be prepared for it. Understanding winning Game 1 is doing nothing but doing your job. They always say playoffs don't start till you win a road game. So we understand that they're going to throw a big punch in Game 2, and we got to be ready for that.
You guys obviously know they're going to adjust in some way. How do you try to prepare for anything? Basically, they can obviously change in a lot of different ways. How do you go about just prepping for the expectation that they're not going to be the same team they were in the end?
Yeah, there's a lot of film. I think all the answers are always in the film. You go back and look at, what the series has looked like when we played against each other this season. And even really, if you look back at Game 1, there's still a lot we can do better. I think that's the interesting part of the playoffs is, when you have a big win in the regular season, I feel like sometimes it's like, kind of wash your hands with it.
Right.
But in the playoffs, I feel like there's something you can take from every game, and I feel like, there's still a lot for us to improve on from what happened in Game 1. So, you go back, watch the film, there's still a lot of avenues for us to get better. And we're understanding of that, and we know the areas that we need to play better in. And, we have as much to show in Game 2 as they do. We got to come out and keep being ourselves. It's always about us more than it is the opponent. Being the best version of ourselves is the most important thing.
You said that you expected that, if you talk to them when they'd say that they missed a lot of shots they should have hit, basically. The defense was good, but maybe it wasn't as good as the numbers looked like. When you watch that on film, did you see the same thing? Did you see occasions where, all right, we need to get back over there, and we're lucky they didn't hit that?
Yeah, for sure. I think there was many instances of that. I think the odds of them shooting that poorly from three probably aren't that high, as the series goes on. But what I've learned in the last 2 years playing in the playoffs is it's about the wear down effect. How can you continue to, I think we've done a great job of showing our pressure up on the floor, sending two to Giannis, just doing many different things. That wear down effect over the course of 7 games is the most important thing. So just trying to keep flying around, making extra efforts. And I feel like the basketball gods reward you the harder you play, So, it's important for us to be flying around and making those extra efforts on both sides.
You've been around here with this fans base. You know how they were in the regular season. Give me your thoughts on just what you saw and heard from them on Saturday. How critical are they for Game 2 tomorrow?
Yeah, we knew that this series would come with a little extra juice from everybody, not just the players, the fans as well. And you could feel that energy from the minute, that we ran on the floor. I got chills running on the court just because of the energy in the building right away. So we know how important our fans are. That's why securing home court for this first round was very important to us. And we played really well at home. Through the last month or two of the season, we played really well at home over last year's playoffs. So we're really confident at home. Love playing at home, and our fans are a big reason for that. So we're looking forward to having another game in front of them before we get to go play in Milwaukee.
Tyrese, the importance of the game speaks for itself being the playoffs, but this has become one of the biggest rivalries in the league. Do you embrace that spiciness and that just adds a little extra to it?
For sure. We welcome competition, so it's all part of basketball, and that's what makes the game fun. That's what makes people want to watch. That's what makes us want to play harder. So, we embrace competition.
You guys had such a balanced attack, Game 1, and I know you guys talk about this all the time. You got to get everybody involved. How big will that be tomorrow?
Yeah, just keep. I think our offensive processes have been very good against these guys for the majority of the year, especially in Game 1. I think we're doing a great job of the ball moving around, getting guys open looks. I thought we kind of tapered down in that third and fourth. They made a little bit of a run there, got it to within like 10 or whatever. But I think we got to do a better job of, we expect to see some more zone probably from them. You know, who knows if when Dame's coming back, you know, that could happen at any time. You know, it wouldn't be surprised if it happened tomorrow. So we got to be prepared for whatever that is. You know, I think understanding that in the playoffs, it ain't about individual performances, it's just about winning. So we know every game's going to call on somebody different. Some games going to call on me to have a big game, Pascal a big game, Miles, Aaron, Andrew, Ben, Jarris, TJ, you know, all the guys in rotation. I mean, Ben Shepard didn't play game one, but we know there's going to be a game throughout this, you know, out this series and throughout this playoffs where we're going to need him to step up, and he's going to be big for us. So everybody's got to be prepared for that, and I think it comes down to our preparation. Everybody's understanding that we're all in here early, getting our work in, getting our lifts in. You know, you see the guys in here extra after practice. That's all important because, you know, everybody's got to be ready when their name is called.
What's made Drew as good of a playoff performer as you guys expect? He obviously dialed it up last year. He's dialing it up again so far.
Yeah, I mean, I like to think that Drew's a playoff riser. You know, he just comes to play. I think he just loves competition. He competes every night on the defensive end and on the offensive end. He has to guard the best player every night, you know. So I think that he embraces competition. You have to embrace competition to do that on a nightly basis. And I think, especially in the playoffs, he's just juiced to go. And I think, you know, he's had success in his career. Think back to high school and Montverde, you know, to Gonzaga. Not too much of Florida, but he's had, you know, a lot of success throughout his career. So it's no surprise because he embraced competition and he's ready to go at all times.